What's good, man? It's your boy Juicy J, man. Shout out to Virtual Homework Podcast.
I'm imitating Data because this is episode. He's putting on a mask. Why is he putting on a mask?
Listen, it's the 50th episode.
Yeah, and I was trying to celebrate by imitating you with your bo.
It's time for mask off.
That's gonna be our intro this week. All right, we'll get so last episode I'm like, oh shit, we're gonna get demonetized as I played. Like we get fucking monetized anyway. Come on,
Dude, make it $1 million.
50 fucking episodes, and we don't even have
mask
$1 million
off. I think it's
yet.
time that we lay out our grievances against each other. I think
Okay.
we let them go on for too long.
Number one, I don't have hair. You have hair. I'm madly jealous. And
I have too much hair. Do you want some of it?
mail me your hair, or I will be fucking pissed. All right, this is a deal breaker. I just need some hair I could glue on. No one's giving me any. They're fine with it until I say so I could glue it on. That's the hard part. That's like the part I can't get past that barrier.
You want me to mail you the hair glue?
I have my own Elmer's. We're good. Anyway, this is our way of saying thank you so much for listening to all 50 episodes, and I know you all listen to every single fucking
everybody.
episode.
Every
There's
second.
no way you didn't.
I will actually cry if you don't.
Yeah,
Or
come on.
I actually have cried because I know you haven't.
So, correction. Thank you if you've listened to 50 episodes, but specifically all 50. If you have not listened to certain episodes, this thank you is not for you. Go back. Go look at the ones that have like full playthrough on your podcasting app. From there, find the ones that don't. Even if like you missed like the last 30 seconds because you're like, oh, this is just outro.
That's where the good stuff is.
We occasionally have Easter eggs. It's like three times we've had Easter eggs. Find them.
Those Amazon gift codes, like that's where we usually put them.
Yeah. Why do you think our episodes are an hour long? We started at 20 minutes and we found out the best way to make content longer is to just read out $100 Amazon gift card codes for the last 40 minutes. And that's I'm surprised I've sunk in my entire life savings into this and we have not seen any subscriber growth. That's not true at all, but significantly less than, we're talking thousands a pop per episode.
We are a video game podcast.
We're a video game podcast.
My name is Dana.
Was that like the worst way to celebrate 50 episodes ever?
No,
like,
it's perfect.
Yeah, okay, that's a pretty good representation of our podcast. I wouldn't have it any other way.
I'm Dana.
I'm Sam.
This is the Virtual Homework Podcast. We talk about games.
We talk about games. And what did we play this week? Actually, before I get into what we played this week, I have to ask, did you play any more Fuser? I know you're a big Fuser head, big Fuser nut.
A Fuser head? No. That game fucking sucks.
Dana called me at 3 a.m. and just whispered into my ears as I was confused, I am a Fuser head.
Like, I think we had, usually after the podcast, we'll have, like, additional conversation about, like, the game or something like that. Just kind of, like, off the cuff a little bit. But it's like, I think that we both agree Fuser is just fucking trash.
Fuser's bad. It's so trash
sucks.
That it's so trash I have nothing to say, which is like, it's not so bad it's good, it's just bad. He's doing the Fuser dance. No one could see. All right. So what did we play this week? I shouldn't do that bias, okay? Because that's actually not about the game, but it's going to dictate the conversation. What did we play this week?
I don't even know how to fucking say the name. We played...
I keep calling it Return to Obra Dinn. It's Return of the Obra Dinn.
Return of the Obra Dinn. If I'm not mistaken, this is made by the people who did Papers, Please, which is probably one of our other favorite games on the podcast.
I'm not going to call it my favorite game, but I'm going to call it a good game.
I said one of...
We have 50 episodes. I don't know
for me, I think it's a top 20.
Top 20 is like top third. I would also agree with that. Maybe like I think like we play a lot of. You pick too many good games.
Yeah, I pick way too many good games because they're all games I haven't played. I just like want an excuse to play them. This is a very unique game. I want to say it's almost like a puzzle mystery adventure game. Maybe?
I'm almost going to call it a visual novel. I think visual novel is the best way to put it, but it's a point and click adventure. Actually, it's like half point and click adventure, half visual novel, but it's really heavy on the novel.
Yeah, it's a lot. It tries masquerading as almost like a puzzle discovery like mystery game. But I feel it really, really isn't. Basically, the concept is I believe you're a journalist that shows up to this ship, the Obra Dinn or whatever, and you're trying to figure out what happened to it or whatever. There's like a bunch of dead bodies on it, and it's just like sitting out in the middle of the ocean. This is in 1807, and you are given tools from like your superior or something that allows you to look on the histories of the dead and see what they went through. And your goal in this game is to look at the past, I guess, lives of the ship members on the ship. See what they went through, see who killed them, see how they were killed, and you have to kind of figure out who's who and how each person interacted and killed each other by looking at these past memories.
Yeah, the main goal is to basically put a name and a cause of death to every single person on the ship. I think there's 60 people. I don't know what the reward is. I didn't get that far. I played this game for about 3 hours. I know that we've played games for longer, but I had a busy week this week. I definitely think this was a unique concept, and I really loved the storytelling elements. But I think that, again, I've gone on rants about visual novels, and this game is definitely heavy on the dialogue. This is, all games tell a story, but this is actually more story than game. I think this is one of the more captivating, first play, the first 10 minutes of this game, you're like, holy shit, because we can't talk about this game without the art style.
Is insane.
It's absolutely insane. So you mentioned this is by the Papers, Please guy, which is a standard 32, it's got some pixelated-ish graphics.
It's kind of emulating the old Macintosh or Atari Commodore type stuff, as far as not necessarily bit graphics and stuff, but when you look at any of the interfaces, how things are textured and things like that.
It's monochromatic and dithered. So dithered is a term where basically they use what you would normally see as random noise to basically make a shape.
You used big boy words that are better than what I said.
I only know this because one of my favorite albums is called Swarm Dithered, and I didn't know what dithered meant, and then I looked it up. But I feel what happened was that Papers, Please guy was like, I made Papers, Please. That's my Papers, Please guy impression. I think there were a couple people who made it. And then they got a shit ton of money. They're like, holy shit, we made so much goddamn money. What are we gonna do? Let's do crazy shit. And then they did. This game is absolutely fucking crazy in terms of it's really hard to understate how much this makes me feel like a lazy piece of shit, because I know that this is indie devs, and I'm looking at this art style, and I'm looking at each individual character. When you find out their story, it goes to a scene that's voice acted, and then you also see this still 3D image that you could explore. And there's for example, there's this giant squid that attacks, and there's this scenic music that plays, and you're like, holy shit, this.
And you can go and move around to each individual person. You can see them getting ripped in half, and the entrails and blood flying out, and still while everyone around them is oh no, trying to figure out how to stop it. And then you go back in moments, you see the moments right before that happened, what they were doing, and you can kind of piece together what led up to that moment, which I think is a really cool concept. Frankly, I got a little bored.
Yeah, so I'm going to say, just to reiterate, the absolute scope of this story and exploring it from just an absolute story perspective, that's where this game shines. Just on the topic of being bored, this game follows a very, the gameplay, it's a puzzle game outright in terms of, the actual gameplay elements, because what you do is you just find a dead body, you click on it, it enters that scene, you see it. That's the visual novel part. You're just, watching it happen, and you're just walking around. And then, from the dialogue, you're able to pause, and I guess some of the visuals together. Put the pieces together, but it's the same thing over and over again. This is a game you want to play in short spurts, even though I feel because so much of it is memorizing what happened in previous dialogue, you would excel at the game if you played it all in one sitting. The game is only manageable because it's so repetitive in short periods of time. I definitely agree. It's more of a it's eye candy more than it's an actual fun game to play.
It's a cool and fun thing. It's just it's like you said, it's the same thing over and over. It's all right, you go to the different dead body. All right, you're going back in the past and see what happened to them. Okay, you're waiting for someone near them to yell out their name. Okay, you have their name. Okay, so then you found out that person or how they died. You don't know their name. Go to the next one. Go to the next one. All right, go back in time more. All right, that person's next to a dead body and saying he administered this medicine. Okay, he's probably the surgeon, like that kind of stuff. There's another guy in his room who's wearing a surgeon's smock, and it's probably his assistant. It's like you said, it's extremely formulaic, and I like you said, the eye candy was fantastic, and the concept is really cool. I like trying to figure everything out, but it was just so repetitive for me.
Yeah, I think that this game, for the type of person that wants to play a story-driven puzzle game, this is absolutely up their alley and they probably love it. Like I was surprised how much I was invested in the story. So I would ask how far you got into the game, but I don't think it really works that way. It's completely non-linear, and usually that does not work for me. But I was actually fine with the non-linear structure because like it added to the more puzzling elements. Basically, the game has this book that you're filling out with all these clues on people, and there's I think 5 or 6 chapters, and like you start with like chapter 5, or you start with the end, and then you don't necessarily work your way backwards. Like you'll go to like chapter 6 and then chapter 4, 5, 2, whatever. It's non-linear.
I think I finished chapter 5, 4, and 2, and then I like took a break.
Okay, I think we're about the same then. But yeah, I just like I was surprised that like I think that overall a movie or game being non-linear will just confuse me, and I'll ask why do they make this non-linear? Like even movies like Pulp Fiction, like I don't think that the non-linear nature of it actually helped it. I think that really it would have been better if they just made it a straightforward movie. But hey, what do I know? I'm not Quentin Tarantino. I think that like it's really interesting because we live in like a world of video game developer. Like honestly, indies are taking over. We live in the absolute golden age of indies, and like the story of this dev team is so similar to The Witness. I actually don't know what came first. Like, Braid was definitely before Papers, Please, but I don't know if I think Obra Dinn was actually before The Witness. It doesn't matter, but basically they both have a very similar timeline. You have Braid, which was a puzzle platformer game, and then he's like, oh, this shit was really successful. I'm going to absolutely tear the fucking roof off. And he made The Witness. And then you have Papers, Please, which is like a bureaucratic text-based puzzle. Like really, like it's a puzzle game when you think about it. I don't know the genre of Papers, Please, but like it's really heavy on the text.
I think that's a puzzle. I think that's a puzzle game.
Yeah. It's extremely heavy on the text, but it's like
off as less puzzle though.
It's less puzzle, but it's still very heavy on the text and like trying to like find your way through like a very weird interweaving story. So like I feel like both developers like went through the same path where it's like, oh, we got uber successful from an indie game. Let's actually blow the fucking wall off. I just think that The Witness did it so much better. But I think that it's really just due to the fact that like we live in a society.
We live in a society.
No, I think it's just due to the fact that I definitely like games that are less text heavy, and The Witness is like literally no text heavy, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, this game, I like this game. This game is very enjoyable to play, like you said, in short spurts. It just is a lot to go from body to body, read all this text, do this and do that, like over and over and over and over and over. Like the story, like you said, is super fucking cool. Like I was actually invested with like 60 characters that you have to figure out who they are from different nationalities. Some are from India, some are from Russian, some speak different languages. Some of them are brothers, some of them are lovers, some get sick, some die, and you have to like figure all this stuff out. It's just, I wish the gameplay wasn't so repetitive.
Yeah, I also, like, this game is low-key super depressing, because, like, it's just, like, oh, these people all died. And, like, there's, like, music, which is, like, epic. It's actually really awesome music. It's, like, it's not, like, straight-up songs. It's, like, very atmospheric notes.
Yeah. Did you find yourself getting nauseous by the graphics?
So yes, but I also got vaccinated yesterday, so like I don't know what to say. Like
the 5G is coursing through you.
Yeah. So like I only experienced the symptoms of like extreme fatigue. I'm actually like pretty fatigued right now, which I don't know. I feel like I've been overcompensating my energy, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry to everyone who's like, why is he always on right now? But no, I got nauseous, but then I turned the graphics to windowed with sharp instead of smooth, and I thought it actually helped a lot.
Nice.
Actually, because the way that this game works, we mentioned it's monochromatic and like dithered. Which color did you have? Because it's basically either white and another color.
So there's actually like 12 different colors.
Yeah.
I went through all of them. I'm like, these are cool. I actually liked the original the best.
Okay, I did blue. I did Commodore.
Nice.
I'm the best. And like, it's weird though, because like I understand what they were trying to go for, and I understand what nostalgia they were trying to emulate. But this is not nostalgia I was ever like. I was too young. I'm too young for this. Like I never played DOS games.
I did, so it's like I'm not nostalgic for it though. I just think it looks very cool. It's a very beautiful game, like, and like not like in a traditional sense that it's beautiful, like you're seeing like fantastic things and stuff. It just like, what other game has this art style? This is like something unheard of or unseen, like in the space. I feel
they definitely knew they had a money printing machine on their hands when they made this, whatever algorithm made that graphic
did this
style.
game do well?
This game definitely did well. I mean, like Okay, it did well critically, I know that, but like I'm pretty sure it sold 1 billion copies. 1 billion.
That's a lot of fucking copies.
But no, I definitely think it was a success. Oh, it came out like 2 years ago, so it's after The Witness. So apparently it sold well, but it had no marketing budget because it was a passion project by the developer, and he didn't actually care about how well it sold. Like he was already set financially from Papers, Please. But,
which is cool. That's kind of cool though. You know, it doesn't have a lot of the frills of a game you're trying to like mass market to people. Like this is like purely like almost like an art piece.
Yeah, no, I never felt that video games were an art form more than when I was playing this game. Like there are very few games, and like this is coming even from like the AAA, like best of the best. Like there's very few games that I'm like looking at this and I'm like, holy shit, this looks amazing. And I could say like
I felt that way
times.
about Gorogoa.
Gorogoa, I felt that way, but like still, like I feel. And it's not a fault of 2D games, but I feel like the 2D medium, it's like too similar to like paintings and other stuff that like it's very hard for something to be like utterly transformational. And like the way that like this art style was like pretty much algorithms based. Like I was looking at some of these scenes being like, this is so fucking epic. Like this is so
even
epic,
the
dude.
textures on like the characters and stuff like that are super fucking cool. If you notice, their faces are blurred out until you have the ability to figure out who they are, even like in the 3D plane of where they are. Like, you know, everything is just sprawling with that old school dithered texture, and it just I do want to play more of this game. I think
I'm going to be playing a lot more of this game, and by that I mean I'm going to beat it. This game's actually not that long. I think it's only like 8 hours. I want to, but I could just see myself this fading
never
into
playing
the abyss.
again.
Yeah, it's one of the like there are certain games like even Cyberpunk. I knew I was going to play more Cyberpunk, even though like I have an opinion on Cyberpunk. Like this one, most of the experience was got in the first 30 minutes of playing this game, and just like being like, holy shit, this is beautiful.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Did we even mention that this was on a ship?
Oh yeah, this is on a I said this is ship in the ocean.
Okay, yeah.
Look,
go ship.
It's like the first thing I said.
Did we even mention that this is a podcast?
This is a gaming podcast.
Yeah. I don't know. I am like vaccinated out. I'm fucking high off that vaccine, dude. I smoked a Pfizer blunt.
Pfizer blunt. Do you know how like people fucking like dip blunts in lean and shit? Do you think like anyone's like?
I dipped my blunt in vaccine juice. I mean, like that's what it is, right? I don't know how a vaccine like it's administered with the juice.
I'm actually gonna Google what would happen if you smoked a vaccine.
What would
happen?
These are the intellectual. This is like what they don't ask on Joe Rogan. Vaccine. This is what they're trying to hide from you. This is Illuminati shit.
Can I vape a COVID vaccine?
I don't want to smoke a COVID vaccine, but I want them to find the flavor of smoking a COVID vaccine so I could get that in my vape pen. You know, like cotton candy.
No, I just straight want to take the vaccine and vape it.
No, I don't want to do that because I feel like people need.
Would that work though? Because you're getting it into your blood vessels.
It's also like getting burned at like high temperature.
No, it's not getting burned. It's getting vaporized. It's a difference.
Oh my god, I don't. Even if you could, do you deserve to live if you're vaping a fucking vaccine? Like,
I mean, I would do that.
If you're making
I would do that.
sick clouds with the COVID vaccine, like
you're like doing smoke tricks, like
yeah, like is that a life worth saving? That's the question I have. And I know that's a controversial opinion, but maybe I'm just jealous of the sick vape tricks. Like I don't know what to say.
Did we talk about on a previous podcast like the anal swabs from China?
Dude, I ordered bubble tea today, and I tried speaking Chinese, and the person didn't speak Chinese, and I felt it was the worst experience in my life.
I don't know why that makes me laugh so much. Yeah, I just like I can't stand like cringe content, like cringe compilations, stuff like that. But like when it's like simple stuff like that, it makes me laugh.
The menu was half in Chinese. What I there was an assumption there. I'll chalk it up to math.
What if he did speak Chinese? And you just want to fuck with you?
Why are you assuming he? Huh? I think I heard her speak Chinese, and that's why I was like, oh, I'll flex my Chinese muscle here. And then, like, I was wearing a mask, and then I half ordered in Chinese. I was like, oh, can I get a? And then I was, like, talking about my Nai Chow with Xian Sao. And I think she just got really confused because, like, I let her, like, also, first of all, the masks, like, it's hard to.
Don't help.
Yeah, it's really hard to, like, actually understand what anyone's saying, and then like
you're basically just like
like if you were like in a service position and like someone was like speaking English to you, and then like all of a sudden they switched it up, and like your brain's kind of on autopilot, like
every day. Actually, like people do that to me all the fucking time.
Well, that's probably what happened. Anyway, it was cringe comp, just like fucking like Twitter is the best and worst site. It's the best when everyone that's not a brand uses it. Actually, that's not true at all, because way too many people who are like 12 years old think that I should die. But not me specifically, but like...
Wait, what?
No, you ever
is this a thing?
No,
like,
this is not a thing. This is not a thing, but it's like, oh, you share that opinion? It's like, well...
It's a little bit more new. It's a little bit more nuanced than that. There's no nuance. It's black and white. You need to die. I'm coming for you. Your kid is dead now.
That is like every single
in a
Twitter.
video game.
But there's that, and there's also like whenever a brand tries to use Twitter.
What happened this time?
Steak-umm's got in what even is steak-umm?
I saw that. It's like steak chunks or something like that. I don't know. I saw it on South Parks.
Steak-umm's got in a fight with Neil deGrasse Tyson, where Neil deGrasse Tyson said the good thing about science is that it's true whether or not you believe in it, and Steak-umm's quote tweeted, "Log off, bro." And then like, okay, Steak-umm's had a real philosophical point, but like if you see Steak-umm's have a science beef that comes off as anti-science initially. It's actually not anti-science, but it's anti-scientism, which I actually like. I think that people like think that, oh, science, because it is science, it's 100% fact. No, it's like you had something that like you observe
science.
This.
It
changes over time. I'm not saying that like
it's just so funny that
cause poop
laser beams,
poop beams out of your eyes.
But it's just so funny that like this is like a brand account like arguing science like on Twitter. It's just like what's the beef here? Someone posts, he's like, I'm just sick of Neil's games.
I don't know. The stake here, huh? No, I hate like
brands are getting out of control.
Brands are basically just people, and then they just happen to be Steak-umms. It's like it's no longer about Steak-umms; it's about the guy behind Steak-umms, and I don't like that because I want brands to be there for me to block. I don't want good content to be behind brands because it makes me have to look at brands. I don't think that's how you were gonna go with that. I think you were just it's cringe to see a brand do this, but no, I just don't want any advertising in my face.
I think it's hilarious, but it's like I hate advertisements in general. I mean, people are like, "Oh, advertisements don't work." I mean, advertisements work on everything. That's why you have a taste for Panda Express.
Yeah, it's not even like I do wonder though, like how much advertising has a negative effect. There are products I'll never get because I saw an ad.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But at the same time, there are products that because we see an ad, we might get it or something like that. Like there's an ad for a new game, there's an ad for new.
Even if you didn't actually see it, like even if you just like were walking past a billboard and like you didn't even like instinct, like it's just subconsciously, it's like, oh, that product is legitimate because I passed by it.
Smoke
weed every day.
No, you ever see that Simpsons thing where it's like they're like watching cartoons and the guy's like smoke?
I know about Yvonne Niage, but that's like straight up subliminal marketing.
Yeah, that's like the same thing. It was the same episode. Okay. Can we talk about fucking Google and passwords and everything? Like, do you think it's getting a little excessive? How you like? I mean, I know in our day and age you have to authenticate and like password everything. It's just like you have to like authenticate to like take a shit nowadays.
Yeah. Like my 2FA is like I literally have to scroll down to get to some apps. Like I understand security, but like holy shit, I can't.
Well, it's like you
everything is locked down. I understand, like because otherwise your Switch is like all of a sudden you have a $40,000 V-Bucks charge, but like I'm in like my own personal like hell, and to get out of it I have to 2FA.
Well, it's like my thing happened to my mom. She had her Facebook hacked and she didn't have any two-factor. She didn't have anything backup, and it got stolen. They changed her cell phone number and her password, and Facebook was like, how can we verify this was yours? You don't have any backups. And she just lost her account she had for like 12 years. But it's like what happened to me with like my Reddit account. It's like it's kind of my fault for not backing up. We're allowed to disagree.
I see the point of 2FA, but I feel like 2FA is hurting a lot more people than it's helping. I mean, like even with 2FA, like okay, I understand that more than ever people are getting their accounts hacked into, but like
you have to nowadays. That's the problem. The problem is when they like you have to do it every time you log in. I'm like, this is a safe browser. I'm at home. Like you don't need to have me log in every single fucking time. But it's like you have to, because then you're gonna have the people that would be like at a public computer and then they do it and someone steals your fucking credit card information because they're dumb.
Yeah, and I mean, like, it kind of defeats the point of 2FA if, like, you have, like, safe zones and stuff like that. I feel that the issue is that, like, even though it is very helpful and, like, it's definitely stopped a lot of hackers, I think that the amount of people who've fully lost accounts due to not being able to, like, and it's completely due to technical illiteracy, but, like, the amount of people who've completely, like, lost their accounts because they had 2FA and couldn't back up their 2FA is significantly more than the amount of people who've been saved from hacks at this point.
I would strongly disagree because you're not taking into account the amount of people that have been hacked from not having anything.
Okay, maybe I don't know a single person that's really been hacked.
Dude, I could go to haveibeenpwned.com and
okay. So there's a difference between, like, getting hacked in terms of, like, just being on a password list and then, like, actually actively getting hacked and, like, your information being changed.
Well,
it's necessary. It's necessary because if your information's on a list, it's a matter of time. But I'm just saying, like...
But that's the thing nowadays. It's, like, something like 73% of fucking people online have their information, even if it's really old, on a list somewhere.
So you need... Yeah, and I think because of that, you do need 2FA.
I just made up that statistic, by the way.
Okay, well, I'm gonna call you out on it next podcast. I'm gonna, like, be like, remember when you said 73%? You're actually an idiot. But no, I think that... Was that fucking Kermit the Frog talking about 2FA? I guess so.
Yeah, what the fuck was that noise?
I don't know.
Like that's like some shit I would do when I'm talking about, like, a nerdy person.
Yeah, well, maybe you're a nerdy person. But yeah, I mean, like, because of the fact that everyone's information's out there, you really need 2FA so, like, you don't get, like, hacked extremely easily randomly. But still, it's like a needle in the haystack thing. Just like when like everyone's information was taken in that, like, 300 million person hack from that one credit card company. I forget their name. Yes, technically your information's out there and it's a matter of time before someone tries to steal your identity, but, like, the chance is still 300 million to 1. Like,
yeah, but the thing is, it depends what it was. Like, for that specifically, but let's say like for me, like, I'm a gamer, I sign up for, like, a million, like, gaming forums. Well, shut the fuck up. Like, how many, like, back in the day, how many, like, of those fucking random ass forums, I forgot the name of it, like BB2B
PHBBB.
Yeah, PHBBB forums did you sign up? Like, that all those got fucking hacked like crazy. So it's like, if you use any of your, like, you say, emails or passwords from back then, like, you're on lists and stuff like that. So it's like the amount of people that are on those kind of lists and get, like, their RuneScape accounts hacked, like, it's actually insane.
Luckily, I think 12-year-old me would hate current me, so we have nothing in common.
Right? I think my 12-year-old me would be like, what are you doing in your life?
I think that 12-year-old me would still enjoy my taste of music, but that's about it. He'd be like, dude, why are you watching anime right now? It's like, I'm like, I don't know, there hasn't been good anime. Actually, I've been interested. Apparently, someone was, like, talking on a YouTube comment about some anime where this Japanese warlord comes back as, like, a dog, and he's, like, a family house pet. And
yeah.
that sounds legitimately fun, but I don't know. Like, I'm still not motivated enough. Like, I don't have Crunchyroll, so, like...
Do you actually want anime recommendations? Because I watch all of the modern shit, and I can sort of tell you, like, if you want, like... Oh, here it comes.
No.
Because there's some 10 out of 10 shit that's going on nowadays.
Hey, if it's good, it'll come to America. They'll make a live-action movie adaptation like Neon Genesis Evangelion, Akira, whenever that's coming. I hear they're pretty good. But actually, I was in this bureaucratic nightmare. I bought the 4K Akira box set, and as part of that, like, basically the 4K Akira box set didn't come with, like, an actual... it was... The resolution was 4K, but the actual, like, quality of the disc was not 4K. They, like, shipped the wrong discs, which was, like, bullshit. Everyone's like, this is not what I paid for. So, like, Funimation was like, they were like, oh, we fucked up so bad. Anyone who wants a replacement disc, because they're not going to just actively send them to people because that would lose them a lot of money. Anyone who wants a replacement disc, just email us. And then we will actually send out your disc that you bought and didn't get because we're fucking idiots.
Well, did you email them?
So I emailed them. This was December.
No!
I emailed them in December, and I'm like, hey. And then I got, like, an automated ticket, like, oh, thank you for your request. We'll follow up shortly. That never happened, so I followed up for weeks and weeks. I probably made, like, 9 support tickets before. I'm like, fuck it. Let's actually go to customer support. And I went on Twitter, and I got it, like, within 2 weeks. But, yeah, it was a terrible process. But, like, yeah, I have I have another viewing of Akira to watch because I've only seen that movie like 17 times. It's my favorite movie of all time.
It's a fantastic movie. The first time I ever watched it was actually on PSP.
That's the worst viewing experience ever, okay?
It was actually really good. Like,
okay,
I
that's
loved
not
it.
true. There's like this clip of who's David Lynch, the guy who made like Eraserhead and like Eyes Wide Shut we talked about. But no, and that Eyes Wide Shut was Stanley Kubrick. David Lynch is fucking Mulholland Drive. He has this like rant where he's like, "You're on your phone, chilling in the back seat, watching a movie. That's not fucking cinema." And like David Lynch is known to swear, so like he was like he's a pretentious guy, but he's like artsy and like he sticks up for what he believes in. So I'm not like super like upset about him or anything. But like yeah,
That's my favorite way to watch shit though.
It's one of those. I wouldn't be watching shit if it wasn't for like those weird circumstances. Like,
well, it's not weird. I watch 90% of like movies and like anime and shit on my phone, like just laying in bed. Or sure, I take fucking like long ass baths with fucking bubbles, and I watch anime and fucking movies on my phone.
That's bougie as fuck. Bubble bath with like I don't know, Love Hina. What's an anime that came out ever?
One Piece.
Yeah, One Piece. Okay, that's bougie. That's bougie. There we go. I don't know.
We were talking. You said earlier how you had to like contact customer service and stuff like that. Can we talk about how fucked customer service is like everywhere? Like I know like it's the whole boomer thing. It's like why can't I talk to a human being anymore? It's like because there's too many human beings.
There's like literally a website findahumanbeing.com or findahuman.com where like it because tech websites actually make it impossible or extremely hard to find technical service. Like have you ever tried to get in contact with Google about anything?
Yeah, you can't.
Like, I'm sorry to lay this on you right now, but our podcast is kind of fucked because, like, my Google AdSense got locked, like, when I was 12. When I was, like, 12, like, literally in 2006, I don't even know how. All of a sudden, one day it was locked. I just, like, had a little ad banner on my website, and then, like, all of a sudden, it's like, oh, I guess you can't make revenue anymore. And, yeah, so it's like 2007 to now. I've contacted them a few times, can't get any ad revenue. So, yeah. Hypothetically, if we were going to be dependent on ad revenue, which is like the worst business model because like everyone who's like think about anyone who's dependent on YouTube.
We could be making $1 million and you just fucked us.
Yeah, I just fucked us. But no, really, anyone who's like trying to get YouTube ad money knows that like it's impossible because it's like, oh, your content had like someone's finger exposed. That's adult content.
That's sexual.
Demonetized. Yeah, exactly. Like everything is absolutely fucked. But no, go on your customer service rant before I interrupt you some more.
No, I'm interrupting again. Did you see that picture I posted about like the license plate? I was driving behind this person's car because you said
foot fetish. Jesus Christ.
Well, because you said sexual, so I'm like, wait, yeah. I didn't tell you about this. That sort of says foot fetish on his car, doesn't it?
Yeah, I have a license plate. I'm not going to say my license plate, but I have a license plate that I feel like can be misconstrued. And, like, I have, like, a couple scratches on my car that, like, I'm like, how did I get this scratch? Like, I wonder, like, this person is very lucky they have a white car. Let me just say that, because I wonder how many, like, do you think people who get weird license plates specifically want a white car so it doesn't look like it's been keyed?
I mean,
not probably. That who's keying the foot fetish car? Come on, no one's upset that someone has a foot. Maybe if you have like a child and like your child, what's foot fetish?
That's I mean, they're brave. There are two old people in the car, so I mean, they're living their life. You ever see that one video of like the dude that's like licking his wife's foot like at a stoplight?
Oh my god, old people just don't give a fuck. Like I was driving today. I'm apartment hunting and like. We were like on the highway. It was like a 65 and like we were behind this car. It's like, what the fuck? Why are they going 25? And like it is an old lady that literally was like completely down in the I think they dropped their phone or something. But like we were like looking at them like, holy shit, they have not had their eyes on the road for like 30, 45 seconds. It was insane. They were going 25 on the highway. People were like honking at them. I'm like, this person doesn't give a fuck. And like, yeah, they finally put their head up. It was an old woman. It's like, god damn, these people don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck.
No, they don't. I mean, I guess if you deal with life and you came from a age where everything was spoon-fed to you your entire life, maybe you just don't give a fuck.
Are you anti-boomer?
Just a little bit.
I think we actually had a boomer convo on the podcast before. Someone pull that up. Someone re-listen to all 50 fucking episodes and see where we talked about boomers once.
Is this the 50th episode or is it 51st?
No, this is the 50th episode. What are you talking about? We had a 50th celebration at the beginning of the podcast. Do you not remember that?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude. Okay.
Well, we're talking about customer service or something.
We were talking about customer service because you were talking about customer service. You were like,
Oh
talking...
yeah, it's like, well, like boomers are like always the first people to be like, you can't talk to anyone anymore. It's just like, well, there's so many more consumers nowadays that I guess it's like impossible to have like customer service for everybody, especially for like certain things, like for like Facebook. What's so funny?
Not just boomers, but also consumers. You didn't like that at all? You didn't like that at all?
I'm gonna fart into the mic. I hope you caught that.
You've completely... Oh, okay.
Well, like Facebook, there's like 70 billion people on there or some shit. Like, how can you have customer service for that many people?
I mean, you can't. That's the thing. Like, I legitimately don't think that we are in a... We are not in a society, okay? Top text. But yeah, we live in a society where it is no longer possible to have customer service for certain companies.
We live in a society.
We live in a society. That's the whole point. That's where we're trying to get at. Did you have a point to this conversation, or were you just trying to say we live in a society? Was that the end goal?
No, I was just talking about customer service. Everyone's complaining like, oh, I can't talk.
Did
to
you have
person,
a bad customer service experience? Why did this even come up?
Because you were talking about customer service in regards to your Akira, so I was just like,
oh yeah. What were we talking about? We were talking about anime. We were talking about movies. I mean, like on the topic of TV shows, and our favorite subject of all time, crypto. I mean, we are straight up in a nightmare. Like when I saw that Kraft Mac and Cheese made an app that like you could scan on the back of the mac and cheese, like scan our Kraft Mac and Cheese QR code to download the Kraft Mac and Cheese app. I thought that was like the low point of society. But now we have you watched Annoying Orange at all?
Yeah, of course.
I think I've maybe seen one Annoying Orange in my life, but I saw one go put in a blender like last week when they made their own NFT. Did you see did you not see the Annoying Orange? Okay, you're cringing.
Yeah, I did like Annoying Orange NFT. Like, what the fuck is an I don't get the NFT thing. Like we're fucking horrible people, and we talk about crypto like, and we hate ourselves for it. But it's like I don't know what the fuck an NFT is. It's like a picture that you like buy and like only you can see or something.
Well, think about it. You know how you're like contacting me at 2 a.m. It's like I just made $300 on fart coin, and penis coin is booming right now. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? You sound like an absolute insane person. It's basically the same thing, except instead of the word coin after it, it's a gift, because it's just like some one-off thing that no one would in their right mind buy, but they're just buying out of hype right now. That's what an NFT is.
It sounds, but that feels like it has less inherent worth, because it's like you can't.
I think the argument is that it's a one-off. So basically, you have like there's no inherent worth with most art. Like if I just have a painting, like the worth is like I look at this and I feel joy. I can look at a GIF and feel joy. In fact, there are many virtual homework podcast GIFs that I could chill out constantly that bring so many people, not just me and sometimes Dana, joy.
Can you actually see how many people use them?
No, but I probably wouldn't want to, because I have not advertised it at all and be depressed about it. But
what if there's like 70,000
30 billion? It's the most popular GIF for certain categories. I don't know. They're good GIFs. We're getting off topic here, but like
someone on Twitter was selling the N-word past NFT.
Oh my god. I mean, the whole point, like, crypto is basically one big meme that society actually thinks has legit monetary value. But yeah, Annoying Orange is like, you know what? We're not annoying enough. We're going to go on this train of NFTs. But the funny thing is like they were selling an NFT that was like you could just like right click, view source of the page and download the GIF. So like they were trying to like sell an NFT that was like literally accessible to every single person. I think we've reached bottom of society. I'm saying absolutely. This with the knowledge of like, I don't know, like 1400s, everyone died of the Black Plague.
The thing about NFT, I think that could be used in like the porn industry. Like if someone's like nudes, like someone that's like never had a nude, they're like, hey, I'm selling my nudes as an NFT. Like you're the only person who's ever going to be like, if Obama was like,
Obama is
nude NFT.
Obama making a NFT in the first place, and then it's also him nude.
The NSFW NFT of Obama.
The NSFT. There we go. There's
not
your
safe for tea.
Not Not
But like,
safe for
do you think
token.
how much do you think someone would pay for that?
I think that would legitimately, first of all, like there's no way that if Obama made an NFT of himself nude, it would not, and like governments would pay for that NFT and then like I don't know, like they would share it with people. There's no way that would like be contained to one person.
Listen, it doesn't matter. Either way, Obama's cashing out.
He's cashing out. His net worth is like pretty high, but it doesn't matter.
Like he'd be able to get at least double it.
I think that would be like a world-shattering event. Like there would be like pre and post, like Obama making the nude NFT scenario. Like so many things would be falling into place in like a way like. It's like if you threw a puzzle in the air and then like it landed completely solved. But it's like every single buzzword.
Think of the absurdity of this, though. Think of the absurdity of this. Like this is like the modern age. That's how insane shit is right now. Like if someone could do shit like. We're to the point where we have senators that are like vaping and like screaming out memes during like Senate meetings and stuff like that. Like,
I guess maybe a future president will sell a new NFT. Like maybe even the previous president is much more likely to sell a nude NFT than Obama. I will say
Trump
that much.
Just does it. I bet he would be able to sell it.
The previous president, like no one knows who I'm talking about. He who shall not be. No, we've talked about Trump on the podcast before, but Trumpy boy. I mean, like I feel like maybe in the future, let me just say, I listened to Obama's new podcast with Bruce Springsteen, and let me just say, based on that, I don't think he's selling an NFT anytime soon. Maybe like a sleep medication. It was not good. I've listened to Obama.
Well, maybe his kids like get him to do it. Like Dad, you should get an NFT. He's like, what's that? It's like
I like we're treading into scary territory here with the topic of this NFT. But no, I listened to Michelle Obama's podcast. I listened to Obama. No, I listened to Michelle Obama's podcast all the way through. I'm on our because like I'm trying to improve the podcast here. I don't know what you're doing. You're talking about Obama hanging dong. I'm talking about Michelle Obama's intellectual podcast where she talks about her life and her experiences as first lady growing up in a certain background. But let me just say that listening to that podcast made me realize that I do not relate to Michelle Obama very much. There is nothing I could gain from that podcast.
You mean you don't relate to a black woman who was the wife to the president?
Let me just say, when like she had an entire episode on feminine hygiene, I could not relate less.
I mean,
I was listening to this being like, this is I can't. This is not for me, but I powered through. And let me just say, I went into that with an open mind because I wanted to like improve the podcast. This Michelle Obama's podcast came out in like episode 4. So
do you think it was actually good?
It was a well-made podcast, but
was it good?
I listened to all of it. I was able to get through. It's like a well-made like ad, you know. It's like you could appreciate it. However, it's like not content that really fits right for me. I gained nothing from it. I've said that many times.
So take the podcast and put literally anyone else, like someone you had no idea who they were, and you listened to it. Would it be terrible?
Yes.
I'm calling Obama right now. I'm telling him you hate his wife's podcast.
Yeah. Okay. Do that. I would love to like get a Twitter beef with Barack Obama. Like that would be life changing for me, and probably a terrible way, but
1-800
Barack Obama.
BAM.
You're missing a letter. What's the last letter in 1-800 Obama? He's on the phone, but he's missing a letter. It has to be 7. Obama's 6. He's bad meme.
Listen, he didn't want to answer right now, but I'm pretty sure he thinks you're a bitch.
Okay, I mean, if Obama called me up and said I was a bitch, I must be a bitch. That's how it is.
Okay, that'd be sick as fuck.
It'd be sick as fuck, but I would have to concede being a bitch.
I mean, because if you have him saying it, like if you have fucking like,
it's
like if you have like Sarah Silverman calling you a bitch, you're like, I guess. But like, if you have Obama saying it, you're like, fuck.
Have you seen that Key and Peele sketch where like he like crashes the rap battle? It's like,
no,
that's pretty. You pretty much wrote the sketch. You wrote the sketch. But anyway, off topic. I mean, like, we talked about Trump a little bit. Can we talk about this fucking MyPillow social media network? I know we're not a massively political podcast, but like, I have to bring it to. We can only talk about Obama for like 30 minutes. Okay?
Listen, we've talked about the MyPillow guy and his fucking insanity before. Yeah. Basically, he's making his own free speech fucking social media website, and it's just been like nothing
It's called
but
Frank.
yeah, it's been the most fantastic content in the past 2 days.
Yeah. I very rarely laugh at Twitter, but I just like saw the tweet and actually had a belly laugh. It's that good. First of all, he made a social media network called Frank. Like I don't know why that's funny to me, but just like it's like, yo, you on Frank today? It's like, come on.
Well, I think it's like, well, let me be frank. Like, be honest, you know.
I think his name is his name's Mike.
His name's not. His name's definitely not Frank.
Yeah, for some reason I thought, it's named after him, but it's not. It's not. His name's Frank.
Like you just make he just uses his first name because he's old.
Well, no, I could see him using his first name because he's fucking insane. But like, I don't know. Yeah. Let's go on frank.com right now. Actually, can we even do anything on the website? We didn't even get into the story because I keep interrupting you. Do you continue with what actually happened?
I thought you were going on it.
No.
No, basically, he made this social media website. It's supposed to be for free speech only, free speech. And the first thing he says, like, unless you talk about God. So just like super fucking ironic and
the fucking
hypocritical.
The goddamn headline: My Pillow CEO's free speech social network will ban posts that take the Lord's name in vain. I guess free speech can only go so far. I don't know what, like, it's just like every single headline is met with like the picture of the My Pillow CEO, and I can't look at that guy and take his social media network seriously. I also cannot look at him and imagine him on crack cocaine.
There's like actual pictures of him like smoking crack and like nudes and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of fucking crazy shit out there.
Okay, I mean, like, maybe I want to be stuck in the stage where I can't imagine that, let alone like imagine that every night as I sleep.
Do you see me? Like, this is a man changed from seeing these things.
Yeah, I mean, like, out of all the things you saw on the early internet on, like, rotten.com, the pictures of the pillow guy on crack take the cake. Probably not. Probably not at all. Probably
definitely not.
Definitely
not at all.
We have demons. But, no, okay. There's images, and I'm sorry this is an audio format podcast, but there's images of the frankspeech.com website, which tried to launch. Usually there's launches with hiccups. There's like even the situation with like if we're getting political, Obamacare, Affordable Care Act, they had like their terrible launch where like only like 1% of people were able to log in. There were like cases where like he has like a Telegram group or some social media group where he's like, hey, everyone try to access our website. They're like, what website? That's like already a bad start for your social media network.
Oh yeah.
And then like when people tried to access the site, it's like literally just like it's like you ever see those word clouds of like the text? It's like that except everything's smudged together, so like it's just one giant
or like
word.
you ever click on like your like Google or like yahoo.com, like a news website, and like your internet goes out and you see like just the text loaded and like no pictures, like no JavaScript, nothing. Like no flash loaded and just like all like the jumbled like letters all pushed together like words. It's like it's completely fucking terrible, and it's 100% what you just expect from a conservative social media. I mean, like basically, like it just goes back to like it's like I want free speech, but you can't talk about God. It's like, well, then you don't want free speech. Conservatives just live in a crazy world, and it's scary and hilarious.
Damn, that's different than where I thought we were gonna go with this.
Poo poo pee pee.
No, I thought I was like trying to say, so I'm super excited. I've already signed up for an account for Virtual Homework Podcast. And
is that the next medium?
That's the next medium. We kind of went a weird direction. You wouldn't expect me as a TikTok hater to go on TikTok, but I cannot ignore where social media is going. You're going to see me on Frank, I think. Yeah, Frank. I keep forgetting the fucking name, even though it's like, I just made fun of it like 5 seconds ago. Frank, I'm going to be talking about freedom. It's so easy to just bullshit about freedom. It is so easy. So we're going to see you all on frank.com.
On the Freedom Podcast.
On the Virtual Freedom Podcast.
Dude, that's a good name.
That's a good name, and that's the new name, because, 50 episodes, what are you going to do? You had a good run, Virtual Homework, but you got beat out by like all these fucking tutoring services online when you try to Google virtual homework. I'm sure there's nothing when you search virtual freedom that will come up before our podcast, okay?
I'm just gonna kill myself instead.
Oh my god. I mean,
in a video
honestly,
game, in a video game.
honestly, if it's like that or like being active on the My Pillow CEO guy's social network, it's kind of a hard choice.